This one. Um, yeah, like you were saying, like I think it's also like taking the expectation out that you're from the coach's perspective that you're gonna get it right first time, right?
Mhm.
And I think you made a really good point of you just gotta give it time to learn the athlete, learn yourself,
Mhm.
learn the relationship between these two organic things, right? That change
Yeah.
every single day, and be like, well, we tried something and we went 2 steps backwards and 1 step forward this year. But guess
Mhm.
what? That means we're going to learn from that. And then hopefully next year we can take 3 steps forward and only one back,
Mhm.
and it's taking that expectation out. I fuck up all the time.
Yeah. No, but that's exactly what it is. Like
Yeah, 100%.
you can't be scared to screw up, and the coach shouldn't be scared for you to screw up either, because like I had coaches that back home would, if I screwed up, they would scream at me until I cried.
Really.
And so like coming here, having this as my new reality is completely different. I mean, I just went to competition in Dallas and finished competition a little early, and my coach like brought me to get like to his favorite taco spot in Dallas.
Hmm.
And we like had lunch together, whereas that would never even be like something I'd think about doing with my coaches back in Canada.
That's
So
crazy. Like, I don't I don't understand when people check in and then check out of practice, right? And be like, right, piss off, see you Wednesday or whatever, and then not
yeah.
going to have any contact. I'm like, well, you're investing so much time into this person or these people, and they're doing
Mhm.
the same for you, right? They're investing pretty much everything into you. Like, they should be your friggin' people, man. It sounds really cliche, but it's family.
Yeah. Well, I got told one time when I was, must have been 13 or 14. The coach told me, and meanwhile at this point I must have been like won a couple not like junior national championships, had just made like senior national team at 15 kind of thing, like 15, 16. And she told me everybody's replaceable except the coach. It's my career and yours doesn't matter. You're just a blip in my career. Like that's what a lot of coaches, and that's what a lot of coaches think.
What the fuck?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the reality of it. That's why there's so many athletes that have mental problems that like don't know what to do and feel like they have nobody to reach out to because these coaches are.
What the That's so I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking go off on one in a minute and put my head through the computer screen or something. But like, wow,
Yeah.
it's that. Oh man, like the way I see it, right,
Mm.
is okay. I look at it. Say, for example, we're gonna take a gym for an example. All right,
Mhm.
coaches come first because they then put the athletes first, and without the athletes, there is no business, right?
Yeah.
It's quite simple. So the top needs to look after the coaches, and the coaches look after the people, and the people fucking pay the dollars, and it just kind of goes around in a circle.
Yeah,
But like I've
definitely.
done a few times where I've done like taking some coaching development programs and stuff like that, right? And me and my very to the point manner, I was like, guys, like when you coach, you're a piece of shit. And they're like, whoa, hold on a minute, like kind of you know, get off the train here. And I was like, well, at the end of the day, like you're at the bottom. Outside of you coaching, you need to put yourself first. So then when you coach, you can put everybody else first.
Yeah.
If there's people in your class, there's like 16 people, or if it's one person, it doesn't matter, right? We're going high level performance, or we're going buddy dot down the street who just wants to be able to sit on and off a toilet, right? Like it's all the same. And
I mean, yeah.
I think yeah, like when you coach, coaches don't matter. It's the athlete. This person is a sole independent
Yeah.
on you, and they are first. You're the bottom, in my opinion.
I think especially when you have like younger athletes, that
Oh,
you have to be so careful. Like, I mean, I think it's a different thing when you're an adult, you can kind of like navigate it a little bit, but when you have younger athletes and you're training younger kids, like you have to be able to know what they need and like put that first, so you don't, I mean, destroy people at the end of the day. That's what it does.
Legit. Like, I mean, it breaks me, hearing stuff like you just said, right? But if I was to like put a tally on how many times I've heard it, it's fucked
Yeah.
up, man. And unfortunately, I don't know whether it is a coach says it more aggressively towards a female, or
Hmm.
a female takes it more to heart. I don't know. It could be both. It could be neither. It could be either one. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But like most of the time, if a male has said it to me, it's like, oh, it really pissed me off and blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
I might have quit or something, right? And it
Yeah.
kind of pushes them down a negative trajectory that way,
Mhm.
um, like environmentally. But for a
Yeah.
female, it's like, no, it's spiraled, and I'm like, whoa, this ain't good, man. Like, I've had a couple ballet dancers come in, right,
Oh
and
no, yeah.
I'm like, they have got no right. First of all, I've got no idea about ballet, so I can't really comment on the sport. You know,
I
don't
know
don't
it's
laugh.
pretty
I'm trying to keep a
bad.
straight face.
No, but I know it's my mom was a high level ballet dancer her
Oh,
whole
there you
life,
go, there
and
you go. But I'm like,
it's horrible.
for sport is about performance, right?
Mm.
And they have got no fucking right to strip someone down because their body type might be slightly different. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, well, guess what? The way that they do a specific movement might have to change, just like gymnastics, just like frigging everything else, right? Just like
Mhm.
weightlifting. Like I'm 5'10" on a good day, right? If someone in my same stop laughing. If I if someone in my same weight category is 6'4", the way we move the barbell is going to be different.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same, and it will be
Mm-mm.
the same in ballet, or it should be, in my opinion. Again, completely outsider's opinion. In gymnastics, I think Simone Biles has done an unbelievable job of like, oh, we've got the best in the world and completely different body type to what we had as a quote unquote stereotypical gymnast. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe we need to like rewrite the fucking rule book.
Yeah.
And I'm just sat there thinking, yes, maybe we fucking should, you
I
know?
mean, it's ridiculous. People I mean, I think there is like for certain sports, there is certain body types, I guess you could say, that like work better. Like just as an example, like for diving, if you're super tall and you're like in a pike, so with your legs straight, like you're gonna have further to go around.
Yeah.
Like somebody that's shorter is gonna have an easier time of it. But it doesn't at all mean you can't do it. Some of the best divers in the world are over 6 foot.
Wow.
It just depends how you look at it, how you do it, and like if the coach is gonna say like, no, you're not gonna do good in this sport, which they do a lot of the times as a kid, they do. Um, then I mean you can go however far you want. I mean, I know people in gymnastics that they were like 8 and the coaches were like, yeah, your kid's not gonna go anywhere. They're too tall. Like, don't even bother. And the kid loved gymnastics and the coach kicked them out.
But the thing is, guess what? Maybe that kid never goes to the Olympics. What do you
Yeah.
fucking do? Like, okay, you didn't go to the Olympics, but you learn so much about yourself, about other people, taking direction, like their body is in a better shape. Like
Hmm.
I'm in the business of making people harder to kill, right? Essentially. But let's make you
Yeah.
bulletproof, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because I think fitness is a bloody catalyst to everything else, right? I'm like, okay, if we can make these human beings, these things that are like attached to this organic thing, a little bit more robust, then maybe they're better husbands, wives, partners,
Hmm.
employees, they start businesses, whatever, right? The mental health is a little bit more stable.
Yeah.
Maybe then we can like start to help people. I think it all starts physically because I think humans are pretty dumb and we need slapping in the face with it.
Well, you also need like there's that psychology triangle where it's like behavior, thoughts, and feelings. And we tend to not believe something if we can't see it. So you think you're weak or you think you're not good enough. And then if you start working out and you see the results, then your thoughts are going to change, then your feelings are going to change, and it just kind of is all going to like snowball, you know?
Yeah.
Or at least that's how I think about like working out and stuff. Why, like, I know that like even if I stopped diving, I'd still want to lift and I'd still want to work out, because like doing that is going to be like it's like a tangible change that you can see. Whereas like if you're like just working on your mental health, sometimes you can't really see that change.
Yeah.
It's
And I
harder to
think,
notice.
yeah, I agree. I think also, if we play devil's advocate and be like, oh, if you just work on your mental health and do whatever that looks like for you, it's less likely that you're then going to go into the gym, or you're going to go for a run, or work
Mm-hmm.
well on your physical health. If you do the other way around, and this is anecdotally, like, this is just kind of plucking out my ass. I ain't no scientist here, you know. If you starting on the physical, because it shows you and you can see the result, you're like, I can see the result from working hard and doing this type of stuff. Now I'm going to work on the mental health.
Yeah.
May may
Yeah.
open up to my partner and work on connection or whatever, you know?
Mhm. And it comes down to what you said at the start. You said like athletes are like have addictive personalities.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
We're
I mean, I
crazy.
think most people do. So if you start with the physical and you can feel it faster, then you're gonna want more. And then you're gonna want to feel better and you're gonna want to improve other parts of your life, like you said.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's like that. Everybody's addicted to something.
Yeah. 100%. Like, I had a really interesting conversation recently, and one of my mates who works with trying to rehouse the homeless, right?
Mhm.
And they came up to me and was like, oh, I might be able to secure funding for one of our clients, for you to coach him. And I'm like, mega, you know, and gave me a little bit of information, like severe ADHD, has
Mhm.
history of like drug and alcohol abuse, obviously still homeless. And I was like,
Mhm.
cool. You know, and I was kind of spitballing, going with ideas, bouncing off each other. Just be like, is it better to get a home and a structure system before you start training, or is it like, you know what, let's chuck them in the deep end and let the piranha start nibbling, and we'll figure it out, you know? And we kind of came to the thing of, we, like you said, we got all addicted to
Mhm.
something, and bridging off the idea of it's a catalyst. I'm like, okay, it was a male as well. And then I start talking. I was like, have they ever had a male role model? I was like, well, no. And I was like, okay, great. I guess I gotta somehow put that hat on. Like, I don't consider myself as, oh yeah, look at me, like I'm buddy Billy Big Bollocks. But if you're a coach, you've got to be some sort of a role model,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, okay, cool. And then we're kind of going down of, if we can get people who might be in juvenile detention, homeless, prison, something like that, right? If we can get them
Mhm.
in a structured physical education program, where would
Yeah.
they then take themselves? You know, would they then go pick up a book and read? Would they be like, you know
Yeah.
what, I'm going to go get a diploma, or I'm going to work on like my mental health and buddy draw pictures or something? I don't know,
Yeah.
you know, and it kind of sparked a lot of ideas. And I'm like, I think fitness should be accessible to everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. And I think people know it. They just don't want to accept it because they don't want to, it's hard to start.
It's hard, man.
It's not only hard, but it's also like scary going to a gym. Like even, I pretty much know what I'm doing. I mean, I've always had a coach tell me what to do, but if I walked into a gym, I'd know how to make myself a plan like out of my head.
Yeah.
But I'm still scared to walk into a public gym with everybody there.
Yeah.
I've worked out in athletic gyms, like Olympic training centers my whole life. Like walking into a public gym is very intimidating, even when you do know what to do. So like it just makes it like that much harder to start. But
Yeah.
like I said, I think people know that working out and like working on the physical aspect is one of the most like rewarding things, because I mean this is going to sound a little stupid, but I was reading a book, like it's like a fantasy novel, but one of the characters like kind of had some like PTSD and like dropped off the deep end, like alcoholism, like drug abuse, all this stuff. And to help her, they forced her into training, like combat training, to like
Yep.
and it worked. And that was, and I mean, I'm not saying that's a very good source, but it's just an example that, people know that that is a way to help people, that that is a way to refocus the mind and like snowball into other aspects of your life.
Yep. 100%. Like I've had
Mhm.
a lot of like a good mate of mine, she's over in Australia, right? Psychologist,
Mhm.
really deep into that scene.
Mhm.
We met through this, just talking shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, she works with a lot of domestic violence victims, right? And basically made the point of a lot of them are then kind of focused in on combat sports because it reclaims their like
Yeah.
identity, and was like, you know what, I'm the bad motherfucker here now,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of deep conversations about it because initially I was like, wow, is that a good idea? And then after she explained it, I was like, that's fascinating, you
Yeah. Because
know.
they want to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
next
yeah,
time they can defend themselves.
yeah, hundred
Makes
percent.
you feel less hopeless. I'm not that I've been in that situation, but like I can assume that the knowledge that you can like hold your own against somebody finally would help a lot.
Yeah, I think it gives you the key to get out of the mental cage, right?
Mhm.
Because most of the time they'll stay in the relationship because of like a mental cage rather than like
Yeah.
physically I'm not strong enough to punch back or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you that confidence and that independence of like, hey, you are in control of yourself,
Yeah.
you're not a piece of property. And I think it's phenomenal. I think it's so
Yeah.
cool. Um,
Definitely.
yeah, we regularly have conversations about like how can fitness like help these male and women like reclaim their identity,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's fascinating, man. Like, I'll go into the gym if I ever start getting a little bit wonky upstairs, you know what I mean? Like and things from back home play up, and
Yeah.
we've all got stories, right? um
Hmm.
I am the barbell. Like that, this is touching into like male psychology a little bit, but I
Yeah.
am the barbell, like, because like that barbell is everything that I don't want to be, but I could be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if just putting that on my back and feeling like I'm gonna shit out my spine, I'm like, well, I have to concentrate now because this thing is gonna snap
Yeah.
me in two. And
No,
and
it makes you forget everything else kind of thing because you're so focused in on what you're trying to do.
yeah, and you've just got to have a little bit of a fist fight with yourself, just step into that arena,
Hmm.
and just be like, you know what? They could put lions, tigers, bears, but they're all me. They're all
Yeah.
aspects of myself that, could
Mhm.
take over. And I think I think everybody could be anything, good and
Yeah.
bad. And once we
Yeah.
acknowledge that, we can then focus it in. And then, I mean, it goes back to the point of athletes, right? We need to be able to give them something. It's the
Yeah.
same of you basically got to rehabilitate athletes coming out of sport. It's the same as like coming out of prison
Yeah.
and education, really. Like people come out of education with a PhD and postdoc and all this, like
Yeah.
basically the alphabet after their name on their CV, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
great. What do you do? It's like I've no longer have an identity because I'm not studying anymore. So I'm going to
Yeah.
go back and study. And was like, that's the same as saying I just got out of prison and I don't know what to do.
I'm
So I'm
gonna
going to
go
go
back.
back into prison.
Yeah.
And I think it's our
Yeah.
job to help them out.
Yeah. I mean, that's yeah, especially with athletes. I don't know much about the other two. I mean, I can imagine with academics, even me, like I'm getting my undergrad and then I'm going on to my master's. And then even after that, I don't know what to do. So I thought about a PhD. So it's exactly what you're talking about.
Crazy woman, man.
But
High school was
like
hard enough for me, mate.
I mean, it's like I said, I don't have anything else to do. And I want to make sure that I also have something other than diving. Like I feel like I'm very focused on making sure that when I'm done, like I don't find myself like floundering a little bit. Like
Yeah, no,
not
yeah,
not
yeah.
having a job, not having money, not knowing what to do, like where am I gonna live, all this stuff. I don't want to be that athlete that is just has nothing left for them after.
Mm-hmm. life's kind of over at like 25,
Yeah.
30 maybe if you're able to push. What is the lifespan
Yeah.
of a diver?
I'd say 30 is pretty accurate.
30, yeah.
Like, yeah, at 27, 28, you can still do really well. Um, I'd say usually 30. It's you have more, your body like doesn't give out as much on the 3 meter on where I do than on 10 meter because obviously the impact isn't as hard. So usually 10-meter divers either retire earlier or switch to springboard by the end of their career.
That, I mean, springboard to me is still bonkers. I look at it and be like, the human being is fascinating and so entertaining to just watch as a sport, right? But the 10-meter scares the shit out of me. I've
No,
never
it's
even been up there and I can't look up at it. Like I
have,
get all queasy.
have you seen the new Red Bull cliff diving?
No,
The 27 meters? It's that's terrifying. I know somebody who does it. The women are 21 meters and like I can't even I don't they do like 5 flips. The men do like 6 flips and 6 twists. Like it's ridiculous. And like there was a video going around one time and it was some guy and he did a back twisting and he hit the tower 27 meters high with his head and he finished the dive. Like he didn't even really, you could barely even tell on the video. And he had like a huge gash on his head. He was like in his twist and he like went like this when he hit and like went right back in because he knew that like if he stopped, like he was dead.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, mate, but I get my kicks elsewhere. Like
Yeah. No, I don't need that. I don't
that's.
need that.
I mean, again, it's like people jumping out of planes without the parachute.
Yeah. Yeah.
They chuck the parachute and then jump after it. I was like, guys, come on. Like,
You
there's,
could just have a parachute with you. It would just save a couple steps.
there's a reason why humans don't have wings. We're not supposed to do that, mate. Like, this is probably not the wisest of the decisions, although I've made a lot of unwise decisions before, you know.
Everybody has their own thing,
Yeah, I'm going to keep my feet on the ground. No,
Or
no.
like the squirrel suits.
Oh, they're insane.
Yeah, I saw one time it was a video and the guy was trying to get through a hole through a mountain just big enough to fit like the arm length. And he like was trying and he would go through like different hoops and stuff beforehand and he would always like hit an arm or hit a leg or something. And then he tried it like in the rock.
That's a one and done
Absolutely. No,
scenario.
that's absolutely yeah.
But they're
Some people.
so, but they're usually kind of adrenaline junkies, aren't they? Like
Yeah,
dopamine. They're
definitely.
phenomenal to have a conversation with and like kind of dive in because most of them have like, they could have turned to gambling, drugs, alcohol,
Yeah.
whatever to deal with whatever was going on, but they turned to adrenaline.
Extreme sports.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, okay, we kind of like glorify this as a masking rather than, the other side. And I think it's quite interesting to talk to them. I know a few people
Yeah.
that have done it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be some type of
Nutter.
screwed up in the brain, not fully there to
Yeah. Yeah.
to, to want to do that stuff.
But I mean,
I mean,
so does jumping off a board. So does
yeah,
like
that's
playing
that's very fair.
playing American football, right? Running into people, rugby, powerlifting. You all have to be some kind of, there's got to be
Yeah.
a loose screw somewhere.
I feel like any extreme, well, any high level sport, just being willing to put your body through that every single day, listen to people yell at you, put you down, like put yourself down. There's just
But
something there.
it's fun though, right?
Exactly. But somehow it's all worth it.
Yeah, like
Somehow.
it's like you wake up in the morning and you feel like you've been hit by a train and you're like,
Yeah.
why am I doing this, man? Like
Yeah.
I'm so beat up. And then when you don't feel like that, you're like, huh, like I kind of
You're
miss
like, I
it.
didn't work hard enough.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, this is honestly, you get like ex-athletes coming in the gym. All right, guys, we're gonna fucking, and they crush themselves. You're like, dude, what are you doing, man? I was like, what about it? I was like, I said just keep it calm down. It's a Monday morning. Let's just kind of ease into the week, and they're just hell to leather, smashing themselves in the face. You're like, oh my God.
That would definitely be me. That would definitely be me. I know our weights coach sometimes they get to practice like tired or like stressed out or something, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go lift weights. I've just dove for 2 hours. And then I get there, I get through the first set, and then all of a sudden I'm putting like extra weight on. Like
You look over,
my coach is like, what are you doing?
the bar's bending, you're psyching yourself up. You're like, what?
I'm like,
No.
can I have a spot? She's like, this is deload week.
Oh no. No. You belt it up, you put some knee wraps on, you're like, what is going on? You got the fucking smelling salts. Like
Hyping yourself up a little bit.
what? I can't. I mean, it depends what hat I've got on, because if I got my
Yeah.
coach's hat on, completely logical, and obviously talking to the people, being a little bit emotional too. But if I got my athlete's hat on, I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
I will die for an extra kilo. I will put the friggin' back and spine on the line just
Yeah.
to, and you just got to be like, Alex, come on, mate. Like, call this quits, lad. This is
Let's
enough.
not do this today.
Yeah. Come on, mate. Like, you want to be able to do this in, 20 years, never mind 6 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah. Although
definitely.
it's still fun.
I mean, yeah, there's a reason everybody goes back to it. There's a reason people keep doing it. It's such a
I,
sense of pride too. Like, you get that extra kilo, and then all of a sudden you're like not only hyped from like the like endorphins, but you're also like so proud. You're
yeah,
so
yeah.
happy.
I got an extra kilo. That means I can do an extra 10. You
Yeah,
just like,
exactly. You're like, next week that's gonna translate to 5.
it's like, oh man, you're not 14 anymore. You don't PR by 15 kilos, like it's not gonna happen, man. Like, not unless you started, taking fucking steroid induced chicken breast. I was like, that's just not happening, mate. You know? Oh dear. Mate, I got 3 questions.
Yes.
What's the greatest piece of life advice you ever received?
Oh, oof. Okay, give me a second.
You can have
Uh,
two.
I'm not sure if this counts as life advice, but I'm just like, just don't take everything so seriously.
Fuck yes.
Like, nobody's gonna care in 50 years.
What's the was it the rule of five? If it's not gonna matter in 5 years' time, don't spend more than 5 minutes on it.
Yeah,
I was like, it's pretty
I think
good.
it's something like that. Yeah, stuff like that. Like, if I'm not gonna remember it in 5 years, then it's not gonna matter.
I can't remember what I did bloody 5 minutes ago. Never mind 5 years
Oh,
ago.
me either. Me either.
No, but that's just concussions, kind of creeping up.
Yeah, that's
Whatever.
maybe not the best, the best thing.
Dementia by 30, but here we go. No, I'm joking. Yeah, talk more shit, right? Just say something fucked up. I'm gonna say something fucked up. Let's have a little bit of a laugh about it, high five, and then crack on with your day.
Sorry?
Like, I mean, taking life a little bit less seriously. I completely agree. I
Oh,
think I think everybody gets all like kind of caught up of everything needs to be
yeah,
super serious, and
yeah.
I was like, just say something fucked up. I'll say something fucked up. We'll laugh. We'll have a high five, and then just like go
Uh-huh.
crack on with your day.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
I have to think about it.
what's the what's the worst piece of life advice you ever received?
Probably exactly what I said from that coach that one time, that
Yeah,
everybody's replaceable. Everybody is not replaceable. Nobody's replaceable. Like, that's not how it works. Everybody's individual and amazing in their own way.
Hmm.
You just have to learn to learn to see it.
I would agree, 100%.
Yeah.
3 words you tell your younger self.
Um. Well, this is 4, but you'll figure it out. That's 3.
You'll figure it out.
No, that's 4.
It's fine. It's
It's a
fine.
Sunday. It's a Sunday.
I was like, am I calculating this correctly? I had to say it, man. Like it wasn't working in my head. Get my fingers
I
out
don't
and
know.
everything. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's what I was counting on the side. How about you'll be okay?
Oh no,
Yeah,
it's
that's 3
fine. You can
words.
have you'll figure it out. We'll just put like figure it as 1 word. It's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Just glue them together at the
I
end.
can't spell anyway. It's all right. I'm dyslexic. It all works out in my brain. It's fine.
So it's actually 3. We'll just count that as 3.
Fuck yeah, we'll count it as 1. Whatever. There's no spaces.
Yeah.
Just yeah, I
But
think
yeah, I
so.
think that's the best piece of advice because looking back, I feel like everything worked out the way it was supposed to. I found an amazing coach, amazing team. I feel like I found my second family down here in Miami.
Mm,
Um, trusted my gut, came here to the States, even though a lot of people told me not to. Um, schooling, wanted to be marine biology when I grew up. Here I am doing it. Uh, diving, I just kind of let it run its course, worked hard every day and worked out. Everything's kind of seems to be falling into place now. So if I could, I'd tell my younger self that
mm.
it's gonna end up working out.
That's fucking awesome.
Mm.
Mate, I
Yeah.
appreciate that so much.
I think
And
it does if you work hard, usually.
yeah, man, even if where you originally had planned or thought you were gonna end up, I joke about it quite regularly of like every plan I've ever had has never come true, which is
Yeah.
actually true. But at the same time, you end up like kind of bouncing to the next thing and you fall
Yeah.
into something else and then you get
Yeah.
dragged there and like trip over and you're like, oh, actually, I'm like, I never could have imagined where I'm at.
Exactly.
And you're just like, you know what? I guess I gotta keep on fucking up and see where we get to next.
Yeah. Usually it's better.
And
Usually it's
usually it's
better than
better.
you could hope.
Yeah. And the people that you meet along that way and the
Yeah.
fun that you have just talking shit,
Yeah.
100%. I agree.
Definitely.
Mate, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. You
Well,
know,
thank you so much for having me. It was an amazing, amazing conversation.
oh, we just talk shit here, mate. There's nothing planned. We just kind of speak
Yeah.
out our ass and just have a good time.
It's definitely what it was.
100%.
Mostly the good time part, but
Wow. Yeah, sure. No, I appreciate it so much. And if you're ever out in this side of the world, let us know.
oh well.
And if I'm ever darting around on a rubber dinghy somewhere around, Cuba
Yeah.
or Florida,
Come let come land in Miami.
yeah,
We
I'll
can
send
help you
out
out.
an SOS.
I'll pick up like a bottle on South Beach.
I was like, I tried to walk home, didn't work, you know.
I'm now in Cuba. Please send help.
Yeah, there's alligators everywhere, and I'm smoking a cigar. I don't know what happened. I started a revolution. Like it's not good, but
It's not going well.
I reckon that's honest. I think if I ever try to walk home, I would probably get pulled into a revolution, and I would not be able to say no. I'd be like, you know what, guys, fuck it, I'm here. Let's do it. Like, what are we fighting for? You know, and who are we fighting? Yeah, I mean, I just want to like hug everybody and have a good time. Let's just dance it
Yeah.
out. Like, let's do dance battles.
It's just no battles, guys. Just dance battles.
Yeah, man. Like, just give everybody a bit of rum. Let's just have a good time. Like, we don't need to shoot each other. That's over. That was 2020. It's nearly
That sounds like a
2023.
pretty good plan.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Well,
Thanks,
thank you
boss.
so much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
rest of your day.
You too, boss. Bye, everybody.
Bye.